Excellent!
Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? Welcome to Paul's Hardware. I first should apologize to you guys because I haven't posted much in the past week or two. I actually decided to take a little bit of time off right after CES, but I'm refreshed and rejuvenated and I'm back with an unboxing and first look at this brand new case from Fractal Design. This just arrived on Friday. This is the Define Nano S Mini-ITX case. Comes in at $65 in a non-windowed version or $70 for the windowed version I have here. It's going to be available in March, and I'm just going to take it out of the box, give it a first look, and show you guys some of the features. So after removing everything from the box, you can see this is a Fractal Define series case. So you'll see a lot of the stuff that you might have come to expect. It looks very much like a Define R5 or a Define S. This is a Define Nano S, so it's going more for the Define S sort of aesthetic. As far as support for water cooling, also having a big window. Not quite as much drive support, but again, lots of water cooling support. So looking at it next to the Define R5 that the Arctic Panther is in, you can see it is definitely smaller. It's about 50% of the volume, if you're just considering volume, although it is still pretty substantially sized for a Mini-ITX case. This is definitely not an ultra compact. It still takes up a good amount of space, and it's definitely still wider, which I actually like because it allows for taller CPU coolers as well as more air cooling support. Looking at the case itself, and just to give you guys here a quick 360 view of it, you can see again a lot of the same kind of construction look aesthetic that you saw from the Define R5 and the Define S. Of course, you have this nice big plexi side window here. I've left the plastic on for now so that as I'm manhandling it, I reduce the possibility of causing any scratches or that sort of thing there. Front panel here is again made of plastic, but it's got a brushed aluminum look, which means it looks pretty cool. It also doesn't pick up fingerprints too badly. There's a blue LED that's right here at the top front. I do still wish that Fractal would switch that over to a white LED. The blue I don't think matches with the black and white aesthetic of the rest of the case, but there you go. The front door here also doesn't swing open, so bear that in mind. There's no 5 1/4 inch bays in here, so in order to get at the 280mm dust filter that's behind here, you actually remove this entire front panel. You do have support for air filters, or for dust filters, so here at the front you can remove this entire filter that covers the entire bottom of the case. I really like this feature on the Define R5 and the Define S. Makes it super easy to clean, although apparently getting it back in there is sometimes a challenge. Here's a more straight on look at that dust filter. So again, just pulls out just like that. And here they've actually used part of the feet to hold that in, which, hey, it's kind of unique. It's got that and a couple track pieces there to also hold that on. Covers the entire bottom, which means you're going to get a dust filter for your PSU intake, as well as anything else you might put up here at the front. Let's actually flip this around so you guys can see the top again real quick while I'm looking at it. So you have a modu vent panel, as Fractal calls them right here. So you can pop that off if you want to add some exhaust or some additional cooling at the top, or leave it on. It'll block some noise and keep dust from falling into the case. Front panel I/O right here, USB 3.0, a couple of those, so you do lose the USB 2.0 that you get on the Define R5 and the Define S. Power button at the top again with blue LED, reset button, mic, and headphone jacks. As for actual dimensions, it is a wide case again, although not quite as wide as the Define R5. So it is 203 millimeters wide, 20.3 centimeters. That means just over 8 inches, whereas the Define R5 is just over 9 inches. For height, you're at about 13.5 inches tall, and in metric, that is 344 millimeters, or 34.4 centimeters. And then as far as depth, 412 millimeters, or 41.2 centimeters. Weighs 4.6 kilograms and 26.8 liter case volume. Let's go ahead and remove these side panels so we can take a look at the inside. They do come with captive thumb screws, so I already went ahead and loosened those. And here's a look at one of the first removable side panels. Again, if you get the non-windowed version, both of the side panels are going to be just like this. It's got that sound dampening material inside that we've all come to know and love with the Define S, and the Define R5 does a great job. And also happy to say, well, this does have a little bit of flex. You can tell that Fractal's still using their heavier gauge steel side panel material for that, so that makes it nice and sturdy. Let's remove this side panel too. Again, I have not removed that plastic, the covering on the plexi, because I'm just paranoid about scratching it. I will give you guys a shot of that before the end of this video with everything removed so you can get a look at the entire thing. Speaking of, there's a look at the interior. It does come, of course, with some accessories, which are still wired up in here, since this is literally my first time opening up and checking out this case. Here's a look at the included accessories. Of course, you get some zip ties. Those are pretty common these days. Fractal has individually wrapped all of your screws, so thanks Fractal for doing some sorting for us. You also get a nice little add-on here, which is a 3-pin fan splitter. So a lot of Mini-ITX motherboards don't have enough fan headers on them since they're tiny. So this will allow you to at least, if you have a single fan header, plug in both of the included fans, the 14mm and 140mm and 120mm. You also get these two metal strips. These are actually meant to mount a pump or a reservoir to the vertical area here in the case. So those vertical strips, you can mount those metal pieces to and mount yourself up a pump and reservoir. Okay, before I continue on here, let's just get this thing stripped down the rest of the way. So after moving that front dust filter, you simply grab underneath here, and as is typical with lots of cases, give it a yank, and it will rather unceremoniously detach this front panel piece. Front panel piece, again, is made pretty much entirely plastic, which isn't a big deal. It's pretty sturdy plastic. More sound dampening foam right there up front, so that's nice to have. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Your air is going to be coming in via the sides here, so that's why the front is actually pretty much solid. And then behind this, you do have a dust filter. So nice that all of the potential intakes on this case are filtered, apart from potentially the top, although that's usually an exhaust. And you'll probably now get a better look at that included 140mm Fractal fan. So that is definitely nice to have. It's a dynamic GP14 to be specific. And then at the back, you've got a dynamic GP12. 120mm. I've used these fans from Fractal. They're the more bare bones versions compared to the Venturi series that you can get, but they do a great job. They stay very quiet, and they've got some unique Fractal design going on in there. So two of those included. And then apart from that, you also have some pretty fancy features that I haven't really seen here. So, well, I guess I've seen a little bit. First off, down here at the bottom, which is pre-mounted to the case, you have a mount that can fit either a 3.5-inch drive down there at the bottom, or it's actually got multiple mounting locations for different types of pumps. So DDC or D5 pumps, a lot of the different variations that are available from water cooling manufacturers like EK and SwiftTech and that kind of thing will drop right in there, and the manual has a full list of compatibility. It's also got this, for at least continuing drive support, you've got a 2.5-inch mount right here, which I've never seen. I don't know, maybe it's been done before, but I've never seen it. Two 2.5-inch drives can mount straight onto this little guy that pops off just like that, although you'll probably be using SSDs. And then it mounts over your cutout for the CPU backplate. So nice that you have that CPU backplate cut out, and you have the option to mount drives there as well via this removable thing, which again removes with a captured thumb screw. So that's pretty nice too. You've also got another 3.5-inch mount right here, and that pops off like so. It's pretty much only going to go in that single position right up there at the top, because that's where the mount is for it. But that gives you support for up to like two 3.5-inch drives and two 2.5-inch drives, which for a Mini-ITX build is very nice. You can also get a better look at the vertical slats right here for mounting your pump or reservoir or pump/reservoir. Again, there's just a bunch of those, so you can position it wherever best suits your needs depending on what your water cooling setup looks like. So all told, pretty nice configuration for water cooling here. And then if you can see the side panel right here, now that it's off, you can get a better look at the space that you have for cable management, which is pretty deep right here. And then where the motherboard area is, it's a little bit thinner, but you still have a little bit of space. And Fractal has put a little conduit again here with some Velcro ties already wrapped in for your front panel connectors and that kind of thing. And I like these kind of captive Velcro straps that Fractal has, so you can tuck away some extra cables back here, or there's lots of space over here beneath where that hard drive would potentially be. Also flipping around to this side, you will notice probably you've got lots of nice grommets here, especially on this angled portion. When you're looking at radiator support for this, you can fit up to a 280mm radiator up at the front. That's pretty sizable, and you can do up to 240 at the top. Although bear in mind that you don't have quite as much vertical space at the top, so depending on what motherboard you're using and depending on like your VRM support or like how big the VRMs are or the heatsink, you might run into some conflict there. So I'm guessing that the front position here is going to be more popular for radiators. Although you can fit one there at the top, just bear in mind your mileage may vary depending on what motherboard you're using. Here's the module vent. I just popped it off the top. Again, a little bit more sound dampening material on there. And then as you can see on the top of the case here, which has become much lighter since I've removed a lot of the components, the channels here for your well, your fans or whatever you might want to mount up there. They are slotted, so again, you do have a little bit of wiggle room with where you might want to position that. But just bear in mind, although you can do larger fans, so they do have some slots here for perhaps doing a 140 millimeter fan or 140 millimeter radiator, they are only officially supporting 240, so it is positioned further away from the motherboard tray just a little bit, although again, just bear in mind, space-wise, I'm sure as these become available, you'll have people saying this motherboard worked, this motherboard didn't work. My main concern is going to be some of those motherboards from like Asus that has the riser. Rounding out our look at the internals and what you can fit, you'll notice there's 2 expansion slots here for graphics cards. Fractal is not recommending anything wider than a 2-slot card, although lengthwise you do have plenty of room, up to 315 millimeters long, which means you could fit like an R9 295X2 in here if you're really ambitious. But that's plenty of room lengthwise for graphics cards, but as far as the thickness, again, stick with 2-slot cards at minimum, or at maximum. And then here for CPU cooler support, if you're going with an air cooler, you have up to 160 millimeters of clearance, which is going to fit vast majority of these taller CPU coolers on the market. I believe like a Hyper 212 was only 155 millimeters tall. So plenty of air cooling options in there as well if you're going that route. You also have support for up to 160 millimeter long power supplies, so more power supply length down there at the bottom. And also nice to see that Fractal has not skimped out on stuff like providing a little bit of extra foam protection here around the power supply, the exit area, as well as little rubber feet for the power supply to sit on. Also wanted to point out that all of the cabling inside the case here is all black, so even your front panel HD audio and front panel on-off connectors. There's a little bit of blue on the plug for the USB 3.0, but when plugged in you wouldn't see that. But very nice that Fractal has also kept things very clean inside, so even your fan cables and everything else is all blacked out. No ketchup and mustard to be seen. So there you have it, guys, a first look and unboxing of the Fractal Define Nano S new Mini-ITX chassis with sort of an emphasis on water cooling possibilities. Speaking of water cooling possibilities, I need a new water cooling project for this year, and I'm strongly considering doing it in the Define Nano S. So let me know in the comments down below if you think I should build in this case. I'm probably, if I do a build in it, going to do something for my wife. She's a fan of the color orange. Based on these facts, let me know what you think I should do with this case, what type of build, what platform, all that good stuff down in the comments below. Also, maybe hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Check out my store for shirts like this one, as well as mugs and glasses and all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, as always, and we'll see you next time.